This already feels more like a video game adaptation of a movie than the movie itself. It was not my intention to talk about the Jurassic World trailer. I watched it thinking I'd send out one snarky tweet about the thing, but then I watched it and I got really annoyed to the point that I've got more thoughts than can be put into a tweet. So before I talk about this trailer, let me talk about the mindset I'm coming at this from. The first Jurassic World was fine. I enjoyed it for what it was. Back when I did it, I was still doing sort of one-sentence reviews on Twitter. I don't do those so much anymore. But at the time, I basically said, I went in expecting dumb fun, and I got it, but I wasn't expecting it to be this dumb. And that's kind of my thought on Jurassic World. It's fun, it's enjoyable for what it is, but boy, is it stupid. And that wouldn't be such a problem, except that the franchise had been smarter than this was, so it felt like a downgrade. If I was coming in like cold for the first time and, you know, this was a brand new franchise and it was just going, this is the kind of dumb we are, I might have rolled with it better. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the previous one. Again, nothing against it. I know some people really loved the heck out of it. Awesome. Happy you did. As far as this trailer, I was already annoyed with it for a couple of weeks. So if you listen to my podcast feed, you know I've been irritated at this thing for a couple of weeks because every week they were releasing another tiny ass clip. First it was the 6 seconds of Chris Pratt petting the tiny raptor, and then it was 15 seconds of them running away from the volcano, and I got annoyed, A, because I hate this style of marketing, and B, because every time it happened, it blew up my Twitter feed. Like, everyone had reactions and thoughts and breakdowns and hot takes on 6 seconds of footage. Look, people, I understand, and I do not criticize the validity of putting out your thoughts or reactions to a trailer. I'd be a massive screaming hypocrite if I did. But 6 seconds? At that point, you know what you're doing? You're doing Universal's marketing for them, and you're not even getting paid for it. So I will admit, I came into this kind of with a bias against it, but it managed to even undercut my low expectations of expecting not to be impressed by this trailer in the first place. I'm not even sure where to start. Well, first off, I think it's probably a mistake to bring Chris Pratt back. He didn't work for me last time as a character, and it took me a little while to figure out why, given that his character's personality in Jurassic World was not that different from his personality as Star-Lord, and I really like him as Star-Lord. I think the main key difference is I understand why Star-Lord behaves that way and is so immature. This guy, a theoretically grown-ass male who's been living in the real world, he just comes off as irritating and a little bit of a douche. And Bryce Dallas Howard was a walking cliche. That's me ripping on the old one. So immediately seeing those characters brought back to the forefront, I'm like, that doesn't bode well. And then it's like, well, we got to get them off the island because there's a volcano. All right, first of all, wait, what? Volcano? Really? Okay, this means one of two things. Either there was always a volcano on the island that the park was on, in which case, what is wrong with you? How stupid are you to make that thing there? Something that is that hard to recreate. And I understand people live next to volcanoes, but like, this is a massive multi-million-dollar facility. You couldn't find an island that didn't have a volcano? So either it's dumb for that reason, or secondary to that, if this is one of the other islands that happens to have dinosaurs on it, which is doubtful, by the way, because then Blue wouldn't be there, but let's suppose for a second it is, then that's still stupid because of what feeds in immediately after, because we have the sort of, it looks like a Senate hearing sort of thing, and somebody asks, you know, do we afford these creatures the same, you know, rights and considerations that we afford any species? Even if the answer is yes, I'm pretty sure that we are not in the habit of going in and evacuating the native species of an island because of a volcano, especially if, as I said, if this is a secondary island and not the primary one, they wouldn't be on that island only anyway, so they're not in danger of going extinct based off that one volcano. So aside from the volcano being really dumb and very much cliche, it just, picking at it makes it feel even dumber, even stupider. I feel like this thing is, at this point, is just wallowing in dumb. And it's not without merit. Look, I feel like the thing was sort of trundling along and then it went, look, we got a Tyrannosaurus roaring in front of an exploding volcano. Isn't that awesome? And you know what? Flat out honesty, yes, it is. That was very awesome. You know what would be even more awesome? If it was in a movie that wasn't otherwise really, really, really dumb. And that's sort of my usual thing that I go to when people tell me, but isn't that awesome? And it's in something that otherwise doesn't hold up. That's a big part of why I bowed out of Transformers after the first one. I know a ton of people thought, well, the first one was pretty good. It's like, no, it wasn't. Like, what I saw was cool, but it was surrounded by dumb, and I apparently bowed out before it got even worse. The other thing that's really aggravating about this is there was a lot of stuff set up and hinted at in Jurassic World that, again, was pretty dumb, but pointed to new possible directions that would be, if not smarter, at least different and more interesting. Like the whole thing with Dr. Wu, the implication that InGen has something else going on, has other plans for these dinosaurs, or with the technology that was used to create them. That is interesting. I'm curious about that because, again, if nothing else, even if it's dumb, it's a different kind of dumb than this one, which apparently seems like it's trying to compete with Jurassic Park 3 for most contrived reason to put people we already know back on the same freaking island again. Here we do not have a hint of anything that was very blatantly laid out with stuff in Jurassic World. Now, if I'm to give this thing the benefit of the doubt, I don't think it's actually this intelligent. But look, let's be fair. It is possible that everything they've shown us is very early in the film, and all the stuff of them going back to the island is more like first act, and then they're holding stuff from later on, and that's where they'll pay off the things like, you know, Dr. Wu and his research and InGen, and you know, really go more inventive with it, because that's the thing. I don't mind dumb. I do mind dumb and predictable, and that was kind of where things fell down for me a little bit with Jurassic World. It didn't have a lot of surprises up its sleeve. It had a couple of good nostalgia moments up its sleeve, but didn't have a lot of surprises. If you're gonna be dumb, I would like it to not feel like it's dumb I've seen some version of, even if you do it on a technical level that is higher than anything else. And I'm not acting like Jurassic Park is some sacred cow of a franchise. Look, the original Jurassic Park is a little bit more than an elevated B movie, but it wasn't only elevated in terms of the technology used to create the monsters. It was elevated in terms of the tone, in the quality of the characters, the depth of them, the intelligence of the writing. Again, it's not like I love Jurassic Park a lot, but in a lot of ways it's not a masterpiece, but it just, everything was approachable. Here's this B-movie premise and we're bringing everything up a notch. Whereas Jurassic World went, here's this B-movie premise, we're improving the effects. You gonna improve anything else while you're there? Nope, we're improving the effects. That's it. Same B-movie, just better effects. And nah, don't care. I was so annoyed with this thing so early on, you couldn't even dangle Jeff Goldblum in front of me and get me to care about this. And I love me some Jeff Goldblum. And yeah, that was a bit venti, but I don't know why. This is not a franchise I care about. It wasn't a movie I was planning on seeing even before the trailer came out, so I don't know why it got me so worked up, but it did. And I kind of had to vent it out. And again, if you like Jurassic World, awesome. If you're excited by this trailer, awesome. That is great. I'm not saying you shouldn't be. I'm envious that you can be excited for this or that you liked the last one. I wish I could have, but I didn't. So this is me just ranting about why that is the case. I'm assuming some people agree. I'm assuming a lot of people probably don't. But you know what? In any case, whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitter at Council of Geeks. Give a listen to the Council of Geeks podcast. That is available on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher Radio. I'm also one half of the Punch Like a Girl podcast, which is a presentation of the Fire and Water Podcast Network. fireandwaterpodcast.com. Links for all this stuff is down in the description. And until next time, this council is adjourned.